Maher's face flushed red. He forced a laugh, tugging at his tie. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just calling it like I see it. Dairo's gaze cut through him. You don't call it like you see it, Bill. You call it like you want people to see you. Big difference. The studio shook with applause. Maher's smirk faltered. He gripped his desk, his voice tightening. All right, Bob. You've made it clear you don't like jokes at your expense. But let's be fair, you dish it out plenty. Maybe you just can't take it. Isn't that fair? The crowd gasped, then hushed. Dairo leaned forward, eyes locked on Maher. His voice dropped low, steady, dangerous. I've never hidden behind jokes. When I say something, I mean it. Straight. No smirk. No act. The audience erupted again, the cheers echoing off the walls. Maher raised his hands. All right, relax, I'm just saying. But Dairo cut him off. No, you're not just saying. You're running your mouth like you always do, thinking sarcasm is substance. It's not. The explosion of sound was deafening. Maher's face turned crimson. He slammed his cards on the desk. This is my show, he snapped. Not yours. Don't come here and act like you own the place. Dairo didn't flinch. He leaned back slowly, calm and unshakable. I don't need to own the place, Bill. I just need to tell the truth. And the truth is, you can't handle it when someone stares you down. The crowd went wild, cheering, chanting his name. Dairo, Dairo. Maher raised his voice, shouting over them. All right, enough. But the chant only grew louder. The band sat frozen. The producers waved frantically from the wings. Maher gripped the desk, so hard his knuckles whitened. All right, enough. This is not your show, Robert. This is mine. The crowd booed and cheered all at once. You don't come on my stage and try to humiliate me. Maher shouted. Dairo leaned forward, voice cutting through the noise. Humiliate you? You're doing that all by yourself. The eruption was explosive. The crowd screamed, clapped, stomped, whistled. Maher slammed the desk again. That's it. Security. Gasps rippled through the audience. 2 guards rushed onto stage. Maher pointed, voice trembling. Get him out. Off my stage. Dairo stayed seated, calm. Then he leaned forward one last time. This isn't your stage, Bill. It's a circus, and you're the clown. The studio detonated with cheers, boos, and chaos. The guards hesitated, unsure what to do. Dairo stood, towering, adjusted his jacket, looked Maher in the eye. You'll never silence me. The crowd erupted again, roaring, stomping, chanting his name. Dairo, Dairo. The guards led him toward the wings as cameras zoomed out to capture the moment. Robert Dairo, walking off Bill Maher's stage, not by choice but by force. Maher slammed his desk, voice cracking as he tried to regain control. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not how the show works. This is my stage. But the chant drowned him out. At the edge of the stage, Dairo paused, turned back, and said into the mic, Respect goes both ways, Bill. Remember that. The crowd exploded one last time. Maher sat slumped at his desk, pale, furious, humiliated. He forced a weak laugh. Well, that was Robert Dairo, everybody. What a performance. The joke died instantly. The crowd groaned, some booing. The producers waved to cut. The cameras zoomed out. Dairo vanished backstage, calm, defiant. Maher sat red-faced and trembling as the chaos echoed through the studio. Then, abruptly, the feed cut to black. The last image burned into millions of screens. Robert Dairo walking tall, while Bill Maher sat alone, his smirk gone, his show collapsing around him. The cameras rolled. The band wrapped up its opening tune as Bill Maher leaned back with his trademark smug grin. He had teased this moment all night, building anticipation. My next guest, he began with a deliberate pause, is one of the greatest actors of our time, and maybe one of the angriest too. Please welcome Robert Dairo. The audience erupted in applause as Dairo walked onto stage. His stride was slow but steady, his face unreadable. Dressed in a dark blazer and an open collared shirt, he looked every bit the seasoned legend. The crowd rose to its feet, clapping and cheering, but Dairo barely lifted a hand in acknowledgement. He simply nodded, shook Maher's hand firmly, a handshake that lingered a beat too long, and took a seat. Maher smirked, leaning into the moment. Robert De Niro, ladies and gentlemen, the man who spent the last 50 years scaring the hell out of anyone who dares cross him on screen, and, frankly, off it too. The crowd laughed. De Niro gave a faint smirk, but his eyes stayed hard. He leaned back, arms crossed, silent and waiting. Maher gestured playfully. Come on, Bob, admit it. You like the reputation. You walk into a room. People sit up straighter. You say hello, they hear a threat. You've leaned into it. The audience chuckled again, though this time the laughter sounded thinner. De Niro adjusted in his chair, his voice gravelly and deliberate. I don't lean into anything, Bill. I just show up. If people can't handle that, that's on them. The audience gasped and applauded. Maher raised his brows, his smirk widening as he sensed an edge. Oh, boy, here we go. Straight to the point. I love it. But it wasn't a joke anymore. The tension in the room shifted. Everyone could feel it. Maher shuffled his cards, leaning back casually. Look, Bob, you've been in this business forever. You played gangsters, cops, boxers, presidents, comedians. Half of America thinks you're a tough guy. The other half thinks you're just grumpy. Which is it? The crowd laughed, waiting for the comeback. De Niro stared at Maher for a long moment, then said flatly, I'm not grumpy. I just don't tolerate nonsense. The audience cheered. Maher chuckled, shaking his head. See, that's what I mean. That glare, that tone. Admit it, you enjoy intimidating people a little. De Niro leaned forward now, his voice firmer. I don't enjoy it, Bill. I don't even think about it. People project their fears. They see me and think of the characters. But I'm not acting when I tell someone I don't want to hear their crap. That's just me. The crowd roared with applause. Maher's smirk twitched. He leaned in again. Oh, you sure have a way with words. But let's face it, you've called a lot of people out over the years. Some say you crossed the line. De Niro's jaw tightened. Cross the line? Maybe the line needs to be crossed when people are full of it. The studio gasped, then burst into cheers. Maher chuckled nervously, tugging at his tie. Okay, don't bite my head off. I'm just saying, some folks think you take yourself a little too seriously. De Niro leaned back, eyes narrowing. I take the work seriously. I take respect seriously. That's it. If that's too much for people, maybe they should look at themselves instead of me. The applause grew louder. Some of the crowd stood. Maher smiled tightly. Fair enough, but come on, Bob. This is a comedy show. Lighten up. Give me something to work with. De Niro smirked faintly, his voice calm but cutting. I'm not here to be your punchline, Bill. The crowd gasped, then erupted again. Cheers, claps, whistles. Maher laughed awkwardly, leaning back in his chair. Well, I guess that's one way to put it. But the atmosphere had changed completely. The polite laughter was gone, replaced by a charged, electric silence. Maher leaned forward, elbows on the desk. His smirk sharpened. You've always been outspoken, Bob. You don't mince words. But maybe people don't come for the lectures. They come for entertainment. The audience laughed nervously. Maher sounded smug, sure of his jab. De Niro didn't blink. What you call lectures, I call honesty. And maybe people need a little more honesty. The crowd burst into applause again. Maher chuckled awkwardly, his smirk fading. Honesty, sure, but sometimes you sound less like an actor and more like a cranky old man yelling at clouds. The crowd gasped, some laughing nervously. De Niro's eyes narrowed. His tone was steady, razor sharp. Better a cranky old man telling the truth than a smug guy pretending he knows everything. The eruption was instant. Cheers, claps, stomps, whistles. Some stood shouting his name.